Welcome to the Arizona Sunset Podcast, where we focus on senior care, senior issues, and all things senior related. You ever have a conversation with someone who is so passionate and so interesting that it's hard to get a back and forth, a question and answer? This is what happened as I sat down to discuss senior care and assisted living with Mark and Lynnette Harper, who own the Serenade Assisted Living facility in Gilbert. They have a lot of information. They have a lot of experience. They have owned assisted living facilities, 2 of them now, for 13 years. This format is a little different just because of the nature of how the conversation went, but nonetheless, hopefully you enjoy the conversation with Mark and Lynnette Harper as much as I did.
People ask us, this is an analogy, oh, your job must be so difficult to watch these people die. No. First of all, we know where they're going. Yeah. Second of all, they're old and they're tired and they're worn out. Okay?
Most of them,
they don't have a quality of life.
When we have somebody pass away and we let the other ones know, so-and-so passed away yesterday.
The residents.
They say, oh, man, they're so lucky. I mean, really.
They got away. They got out.
Oh, man, when is it going to be our turn? Really, honestly.
Because when you're old and debilitated, you're tired.
And they're always saying, I don't know why I'm this old. I don't know why I'm still here. They're always saying that, and they're saying, man, this is not for sissies, or, getting old is no fun. I mean, And
it could be if they had a different attitude.
Especially if they're widows or widowers. They're just waiting for that time that they pass away and they can be with their loved ones.
Well, this is the
again,
thing.
So.
If you stop and think about it, right now, you have a job, you have a young family, you got a lot of things to look forward to. Kids getting married, going on missions, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, a lot of things, go on missions with your wife, all that kind of stuff. Those are ahead of you.
Right.
Those people, everything's already passed.
It's behind them.
They're done.
Yeah.
When they just lay in a bed and they're just waiting, they eat, drink, poop.
And also they feel...
And most people they know have already gone.
If they realize they really don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
Some of them, if you get to the point where they don't have a purpose, or...
If you don't wake up every morning and go, you know what, I'm going to go milk the cows. I'm going to go milk the goats. I'm going to go build this fence. I'm going to go haul this hay. I got a project here, a project here, a project here. I got lots of things to do.
I think in a lot of ways that keeps us all going, because we have a reason. We have responsibility. We have, goals. We have purpose in what we do.
Well, help me put all of your experience to this point. Well, no, but you guys have had a lot of experience in healthcare. So when did you guys get started?
When did we get started?
Yeah.
13 years ago. 2005.
Okay.
August of 2005 is when we got in the actual business. That's when our home was licensed.
Okay.
Lynnette worked a year before that to get her hours to be a manager.
Okay.
Okay. And then I basically got my caregiver certificate, and I've been a caregiver ever since. But this is the thing. Most residents that come in here, and I'm talking about most of them, not just everyone, but most of them, they have so many pills. And the families are like, oh, I can't afford those pills. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. They'll go on hospice, and hospice doesn't cover everything. And the family's like, can they do without that? And you know what?
They'll take them off the pills and they get better.
And guess what? They get better. They graduate off of hospice. And one guy in here was 2 weeks away from dying.
Yeah,
and
he was
on
so
hospice. He was
bad
bleeding.
off.
He was everything.
Oh,
they
my
took
gosh,
the pills
yeah.
away. And you know what? 5.5 years later, he's still here. And the family says, oh, Mark, Lynnette, you guys, saved his life.
No, it was
He's
taking him off of all that crap.
It was taking him off all the stupid pills. And you know what? What you got to remember is old people are going to die. There is no magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. Okay? They might have died earlier because they didn't take their blood pressure medication or not had a stroke right away. But even people that have blood pressure medication,
I don't think people die earlier than what they're going to die, no matter what. My dad was the healthiest person alive, and he died of skin cancer. Skin cancer, of all things. But
they radiated him.
Yeah, so...
When he was younger,
but they said his heart was
and it made the stuff grow
as
even
healthy
more.
as a 29-year-old, so...
you do exactly what we're doing now and sit. All these people went and sat down. They didn't keep active. Lynette's mother's 90. Carlene in here is 90.
She walks laps.
She walks laps around the house every day.
So you can choose. You know, you can choose. You can sit down and decide, well, I'm not going to do much.
Quit eating nitrates. Quit eating sugar.
No processed meats or foods.
Meats and foods. And they say canned food is bad for you, you know. And so if you want any information at all about old people and that kind of thing and what's good and bad, there was a lady who was 108 in Atlanta, and they asked her what was her secret to longevity. And she says, I get up and walk every day, and she says, I never go to the doctor. Never. I never go to the doctor because they're going to give you a pill. They're going to do a test and say, oh, this is this. Well, maybe I'm supposed to be that level. Just because you have it as everybody, you know, this is the average and this is where everybody's supposed to be.
And also, like Mark brought up before, you know, not here, but sometimes when they tell you what's wrong with you, it gets you all anxiety and everything and worried and stuff, whereas, you know.
If you never know.
And that can have a huge effect on our health, too.
No.
The anxiety. And
mental.
When people are diagnosed with
terminal cancer,
think about it. Are they giving up? I mean, they're probably trying to find it, but just that mental...
Knowing this terminal.
Just the fact that somebody told you, you know what, now you're terminal.
Yeah.
You know what, if you never knew you were terminal, you maybe never were. And your body fought it off. Just like they said, I've gone on fasts, 34 and a 36-day fast. Water only for 34 days and 36 days. And at those days, I had to stop. I was trying to go for 40 days, but that was, you know, your body tells you when you're done. Well, anyways... Think about this.
That's amazing.
Sugar feeds cancer. Okay? So if I had cancer and I went into the doctor...
And the reason we know that is because that's how they find out where your cancer is. They give you
the glucose drink.
Yeah.
Where
the sugar goes, that's where they find the cancer. That's where the cancer
You know what a PET scan is, right? PET scan is where they find cancer in your body. And so my grandma, they were testing her because they said she had melanoma in her toe. And they wanted it in her big toe. And they were going to cut it off, but before they cut it off, and she was 90 years old, but until they cut it off, they wanted to find out if the melanoma cancer had spread in her body anywhere. So we took her down to Alma School in Ray or whatever it is over there where that imaging place is. And she went into this room, and they said, we're going to do a PET scan. I said, well, what's a PET scan? They said, well, she has to drink this nuclear sugar, okay? Nuclear sugar.
That can't be
which is a syrup, right? They put her in this room. They brought it in a lead-lined box. And they said, okay, you can bring her in here because my grandma had dementia.
That should tell you right there. It's probably not a good idea to take inside.
If nobody else can be in the room with you. So this is what they did.
With the drink.
I said, nuclear sugar, well, what's that? And they said, oh, when she drinks it, the sugar goes to where the cancer is because it's feeding the cancer. And then the nuclear part is what glows on the image when they take the test. Okay? So, I mean, this is... Unless people put this together, you know...
I mean, think about it.
It's people do it every day. They do PET scans all day long, every day. So these people, who knows whether that's what caused her to have the worst cancer and spread through her body.
Yeah, because eventually...
Three years later. 3 years later, she died of cancer because it spread all through her body. Okay? But they cut her toe off and there was no cancer. So anyways... Huh?
There was no cancer in her toe?
No, the cancer was in her toe, but they cut her big toe off. It was gone.
Yeah.
So if you and that's why they did the test. So I asked the guy, and I always ask him. The radiologist will never let you look at it, or the guy doing the scan. But I'm like, come on, man, just show me that thing so I know what's going on. Tell me a little bit about this. You know, I'm interested, right? I'm her grandson. I'm the one taking care of the woman. Let us know. I don't want to listen to stupid doctor's explanation of bull crap. I want to know what's going on. So the guy shows me the image, and it's they did her whole body. Mm-hmm. So it shows her whole body, and it took like an hour because it just sits there and just
scanned the whole thing.
The whole thing. So it has her whole body there, and the only place that was glowing red was right where her big toe was. So they said, oh yeah, we can cut it off, and then the cancer's gone. Clean. Yeah. But she'd taken that nuclear sugar. So when you say, hey, all you got to do is quit eating so much sugar, and we'd probably be okay if we didn't eat as much sugar as we do. There probably wouldn't be as many cancer cases.
Right.
And whether it's that part of
and that's not the cause of it.
Well,
but,
I mean, it's just
that probably
it's cells that mutate that are bad cells that cause cancer or whatever, and
it
then
can
they
be
grow.
caused by a lot of different things. But
Anyhow, so when you look at it from that standpoint, they said if you go on a fast, long fast, it'll kill the cancer because cancer has nothing to eat. And the cancer just, your body eats it up anyways because you lose lots of weight because all it does is eat your fat, eat your own fat.
Your stores.
Right, fat stores.
Yep.
So then what happens is the cancer goes away. Is a doctor ever going to teach you that? Dr. Fung.
To fast now.
Dr. Fung in Canada. He's a nephrologist that takes care of kidneys and diabetes and all that kind of stuff.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
One of his treatments is fasting.
Fasting. And
you can bring down your...
How long do you have to go before you get those benefits? Is there
a week.
A week at least.
Yeah.
To have it start.
So I did a 14-day, and it was mainly because my blood pressure was really high. And so after a week, it was down. Every day I did my blood sugar, and I did my blood pressure, and it was amazing because your blood sugar dips down, but then comes right back up. And how does that happen if you're not eating anything? It's taking all the stores from your fat and using it. It just blows my mind how amazing our bodies are. And people will tell you, oh, it's going to start eating your muscles. That's not true. It uses your fat first. If you don't have any fat, then maybe it'll start eating, your muscles. But we have plenty of fat that it can eat.
If you have plenty of fat,
yeah.
You can. And the thing is, this is what they say. God made it so that in lean times and in good times, automatically you
our
get
body
fat stores.
Adjusts.
Stores fat. Just like a bear in
animals
hibernation.
when they get sick. Animals when they get sick, they stop eating. If you have a dog.
Well, even our appetites are suppressed with flus and
right.
And then people are pushing. Oh, you got to get your strength. Come on and eat. But really, it's your body saying, "Yo, I don't need to eat.
I need
now.
a rest.
I'm resting my body so it can heal." And
so, any bad things you have wrong with you, or you feel like is wrong with you, first of all, look at your diet. Everybody runs off to the doctor when really look at what you're eating and what you have been eating. Exercise. Have you been exercising? And then what kind of things do you need to put in your body to make it get better? I don't care what anybody tells me. You can be a doctor yourself and tell me, oh, you're full of crap. No, I'm sorry. You know what? I've experienced it. It's my body. I know. You as a doctor see me for 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. You prescribe a medication.
And
you check my ears.
By what
you check
they've
my blood
learned
pressure.
in medical school, and mainly what they've learned in medical school is pharmaceutical. They don't learn nutrition. They don't learn...
This has to do with old people, too, just so you know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Given your views on diet and everything, how does that apply to the residents that are here in your home? I noticed you guys have quite an extensive garden, animals here. Are you guys, sugar-free, vegan? Do you have a specific diet with your...
They have ice cream every night after.
First of all, just because we want to live a certain way doesn't mean that we...
Because they still have choice of what they want to eat.
So they eat what they...
Yeah.
They eat what they want. If they don't
but
want
you guys do offer... I mean, your food is... You don't offer, processed stuff. You guys have homemade everything, right?
Well, not everything,
but a
we
lot.
do a lot of
You're
stuff.
making, all your bread is homemade, and your... you guys bake a lot more than...
Well, I think it only benefits the more homemade and...
Well, somebody told us this. That's why the residents live so much longer here, is because you take care of them. Okay? I always use the Gatorland Principle, the alligator principle. And that is in Gatorland in Orlando, Florida. Mm-hmm. I was there, and they have about 3,000 alligators. And the guy in the tour says that an alligator in captivity will live 50 years. An alligator in the wild will live 25 years. Okay? And he said the reason is there's predators. They don't eat all the time. They don't get medication. They don't get this, and this, right? But in captivity, they get the regular meals. They don't have predators, and they can live a nice, relaxed life. The same thing with old people. When they're living out in their own homes, and they got dementia, and they don't eat, they don't get the pills, they don't get whatever they need.
They can't get about,
right? They don't get the activity, they don't get the social interaction with people, all those things. Then they're out in the wild, and they won't live as long. You bring them into assisted living, and they'll live a lot longer. because they've got care. They have somebody loving them, feeling them, touching them, giving them a bath, making sure they get their meals, their pills,